So, good afternoon everyone. My name is Arviel Dela Cruz and I'm running for the position of MISA President. Motivating members to become active in the organization has been a problem for MISA for the longest time. As during my term as the VP for Human Resources, I believe that I have started a big step towards providing members with more opportunities to become active in the organization through the volunteer pool and other efforts. However, it has occurred to me that inasmuch as members would want to be active in the organization, and despite our efforts to promote member involvement, there simply isn't enough room in the organization's current structure in order to accommodate such willingness from the members and to create commitment within them. As such, I present to you my platform for this year, member involvement. So why member involvement? It isn't directly aligned with what MISA envisions itself to be as an information management organization. But for me, in order to attain that vision, the organization must first be able to establish a structure and a culture that will allow MISA to be able to develop, maximize, and simply satisfy its most important resource, the heart of every student organization, the members. So, how exactly do I plan to promote member involvement through my term? Well, I have formulated three simple strategies in order to promote member involvement if ever I get the chance to become elected as your president. The first of which is dynamic communication. For me, a good reason why members don't get the chance to become active in the organization is because they aren't even aware of some of our projects. Yes, we can say that the communication channels of our org has been greatly improved this year, and the protocols have been implemented to a certain extent. However, the fact still remains that our means of communication mainly rely only on internet communication means only, and there is still a need for a more dynamic, a more personal, and a more direct way of communicating our projects and promoting our projects to our members. To address this, I propose to reformat the hub system into a house system. Next slide, please. Okay. I plan to reformat the hub system into a house system, which would basically mean that the members would be divided into hubs or groups of 20 or so people, each with one or two hub managers or house heads. These house heads would be responsible for relaying the information regarding our projects to their assigned members for every project that MISA has. Through this, we may be more assured that our efforts to make projects that are worthwhile for the members won't just go to waste because the members aren't informed. Through the hub system, which will be formatted to a house system, ideally, all members will be informed about our projects, and also ideally, they will be more inclined to participate in our projects because they sort of feel a more intimate or personal means of communication aside from the online means. So second is effective community building. Many members, most especially the lower classmen, join student organizations not just for the experience or for self-development. Some of us, we also join organizations simply because we want to make new friends. As the home organization for MS majors, we should invest in this opportunity to strengthen our image as a home organization and to be a place that our MS majors can really call home. A good way to do this, and as well as to promote member involvement, is to put emphasis on our community building projects. To do so, I propose to bring back MISA because I personally believe that it is a very effective means of promoting member interaction, especially during the beginning of the year, when most of the members are not familiar with each other. I understand that this year that MISA wasn't implemented because of the lack of funds, but I believe that next year, given the financial resources of MISA currently, we will be able to afford to implement this project again. Also, aside from bringing back MISA, I would also put emphasis on the Tambay Week and make it a sort of stable project for the organization, so as to promote further member interaction among our members. I believe that by making our members closer to each other, we are also in a way making them closer to MISA. Lastly, the last strategy that I formulated in order to promote member involvement is to provide more avenues for member participation. Like what I've said before, I tried to create these avenues for member participation by creating the volunteer pool at the start of the year. However, like what I've said, it has taught me that the opportunities that we currently provide for our members really aren't enough, and there simply isn't enough room for us to accommodate the members who aren't able to apply for officership during the start of the year. So, also, I propose that as early as their freshman year, the volunteers shouldn't only, the members would not be only allowed to volunteer as merely manpower to provide assistance to the project teams during the execution of the events themselves. I think that a better way to promote member involvement and as well as to develop leadership and camaraderie among our members is to make the members more involved in the planning and preparation phases of our projects and not only limit their participation in the execution of the projects. Through this, we will not only be able to accommodate more member participation, we will also be able to, in a way, develop our committee heads, our existing officers, in such a way that they would be able to actually live up to their titles and become actual heads of their committees, and not just serve as followers of the project director. This way, we would be able to promote leadership through actual experience. Next slide, please. Again, through dynamic communication, effective community building, and more avenues for member participation, I propose to promote member involvement during my term if I get the chance to become a president. Next slide, please. Moreover, here are my other plans that I plan to implement if ever I become the president. First is member feedback and project evaluation. Next slide, please. For me, it is important that the organization gets feedback from the members and get insights from them in order to be able to evaluate our projects more effectively and to possibly create new ones that would satisfy more effectively the needs and wants of our members, as long as it doesn't sacrifice the image of MISA and its image as an information management organization. Next would be policy enforcement. I understand that this was the thrust of the organization this year. However, this was only the policies or the code of internal procedures of our organization was only implemented up to the beta level. For me, if ever I get to be president, I propose that the CIP should be further developed in order to be able to accommodate and fit the situation of all of our applicable officers, and not just restrict the policies of organization to the beta. This way, we can be more assured that our officers will be more inclined to actually fulfilling their duties as officers of the organization, and that we will be able to reduce the risk of getting our projects delayed because of tasks that weren't successfully done by our officers. The next one would be long-term goals. It has occurred to me that our organization does not set long-term goals for itself. What we basically do is just abide to the rules of the Office of Student Activities and create sort of feasible goals that we will be able to accomplish by the end of the year to our projects. For me, an organization like MISA should be able to establish certain goals that we would be passed on from year after year in order towards actually realizing our vision for the organization. These goals may relate to the number of systems developed by the services cluster per year, or perhaps the number of members that we consider active. Also, we will be able to measure the progress of MISA, not just only based on our perception as officers, but through actual facts that we will be able to pass on to the next generation of officers. Next slide. So here are my plans for the different clusters. First, for the communications cluster, like what I've mentioned, I plan to implement the hub system and reformat it into a house system in order to promote a more personal and direct communication means to our members. Also, I want to improve the alumni relations since this year no major effort was made to establish relations with our alumni. For the e-services cluster, I propose to for this cluster to accommodate more information management projects or systems and not really rely on web design projects, because this is really our core competency, information management. I realize that this may be hard to achieve because of the low availability of such projects, but I believe that just because it's hard doesn't mean that we can't be able to achieve it through working even harder for it and being more aggressive in looking for clients. Next would be more ID and IM seminars and trainings. This year we held several ID seminars in partnership with ComSat. For the next year, I propose that MISA holds its own ID and IM seminars in order to strengthen the image of MISA as an information management org, and to be able to provide our members with broader skill sets and be able to teach them things that are actually relevant in today's world. Next, for the events cluster, I propose that we have strict deadline implementation in order to avoid delays and problems with regards to reserving venues and preparing everything that needs to be done for the projects. This is in relation to the policy enforcement part that I mentioned earlier. Also, for the events cluster, I propose to implement dry runs of certain projects so as to be able to identify the problems that would arise during the event itself, and to be able to provide solutions for them earlier on. Next would be alumni involvement. I think that in relation to establishing alumni relations for the FOM cluster, I want the events to be I want the alumni to be more involved in our events, so as to be able to effectively establish communication with them, and for us to be able to benefit from them in the long run. Next would be for the finance and marketing cluster. I propose to have more fundraisers this year. This year we were able to raise huge amounts of money through our marketing efforts. But so if we still continue this, if we continue to be successful in our marketing efforts, I believe that through implementing more fundraisers and giving more budget to these projects, we would be able to maximize on our finance officers and be able to raise more money. Next would be to improve the branding and image of MISA as an information management organization through the projects that we implemented this year, like the Information Management Conference and the Information Management Week. I think that we further strengthened our image as information management organization, and as such, we would be able to identify and distinguish ourselves from other organizations like ComSat, which we're closely related to, and be able to ideally get more sponsors and get more partners for the organization. Lastly, for the human resource cluster, I plan to promote member involvement, which is my main platform for this year. Also, I plan to implement a more concrete reward system and actually implement it throughout the year for both the officers and the members. This may be based on member participation and attendance during our events, or perhaps even the PMS of our officers. Lastly would be talent pool externalization. This year, MISA Musica and MISA have successfully done performances for organizations outside other than MISA, such as Skype and ARSA. And I believe that through promoting our talent pool groups, perhaps on our MISA website and in our Facebook group or in other communication meets, we will be able to give our talented members more avenues for them to showcase their talents and promote camaraderie among our members. Right, so again, these are what I plan to do for this year. Member involvement with dynamic communication, effective community building, and more avenues for member participation. I also promise to push long-term goal setting, policy enforcement, and member feedback and project evaluation. I believe that these are what the org will need in order to up the notch next year and to reach new heights in order towards towards actually realizing our vision for the organization. Again, I am Arviel Dela Cruz, ready to serve you with a big heart, a big voice, and big dreams for an even bigger MISA. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Arviel.